twice a night. I read between the lines. You break my bones. I read between the lines. Is it possible to mean it? I read between the lines. I'm keeping it real. I read between the lines. I can see the end in sight. I read between the lines.
Evening YouTube, hope everyone's good. Now, somebody put a comment today saying that Herpeter has had a lot to say about myself. Now, I've had a little skim through the live, which it seemed to be like angled up moon. Oh, agree with me and blah blah blah, this, that and the other. Yeah, obviously you're gonna agree when it suits your narrative, obviously. So I don't know whether that like chucks out all the other stuff that we said and means hope not hate and blah blah blah, and I don't know whether that chucks all that out because it suits your narrative today. Who knows? Strange place, YouTube, innit? Now, what become relevant is she must have said my name about 15 million times or whatever. Oh look, Den doing this, Den doing that, rah rah rah. Now, what Den did was try and stay impartial and try and point out the issues, both sides of a never-ending situation. It's no different than the Israel and Palestine shit. It will continue on and on and on for as long as people care to fucking keep partaking, realistically. Now, I'm not going to change my position because there's nothing evidential wise which would bring me to do that. Now, what I have observed is a case which, like I said from day one, I had no interest in. It was wrapped around a load of other stuff. The King's flag shit and whatever was the thing that we was interested in, because that was the thing that was drawing in veterans and getting them to commit treasonous fucking actions. So I've not changed my position from day one. That's what we set out to destroy, and that's what we destroyed. Now, this Hampstead case, it's one of them, innit? It was just wrapped around things, and like we said in the early days of it, we don't really want out to do with this. We don't really know much about it either side, and it's nothing to do with what we're doing or what we're about. Now, we've had Danny Jones contacted CMW. So, for those that don't know, CMW was the people which was attacking the King's flag fraud, that was pulling in veterans and patriots and all this shit. They weren't getting as far as they needed to, and the date was drawing closer, and I got involved to make sure that we put an end to the madness, and veterans didn't get pulled into some fucking mad bullshit. Now, it helps my argument that Kayleigh also came to the same conclusion after having open, honest discussions. Now, after being on Easy's last night, it seemed very apparent that an open, honest conversation wasn't going to be on the table. It's one of them. Apparently, it would draw no fruits. Now, it's one of them, innit? If people have got other ideas and they think that'll bring more fruit to the table, then do what you're doing, innit? I've been around this situation long enough to know that that approach is futile, pointless, waste of time. All it'll do is chuck more fucking fuel on the fire, which was already raging anyway. Now, I've seen Easy Do Live today, apparently, because of what's going on. Apparently, everyone can have the say, come back Babs, blah blah blah. So, when I was saying yesterday to Easy and Moon that they look at it as a syndicate movement because you've had the same shit cunts giving useful idiots information so they can put it out, and then their hands are dirty and the man behind the curtains can stay behind the curtains and have fucking clean hands. When I said that, it seemed to fall on deaf ears or whatever, and then today just seems to be highlight as if you are a syndicate, because, well, that's what it looks like, innit? Other than that, I'm not being funny, but why would we go, oh, welcome back Babs, welcome back shit cunts? Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, it's just mad. Now, for me personally, all I could have done yesterday is possibly, if all parties wanted to do that, is have a open, honest discussion. I would quite happily put myself as a middleman to try and facilitate it a little bit better. But nobody seemed to want that. So at that point, well, I just stand back and watch what happens then. If you think you're going to be able to run people off, whatever, then do that. I'll just sit back and watch. Like I say, I've been around this situation for long enough to know the outcomes of these futile attempts. And again, it just sort of, it paints the picture that, do you know what I mean? It paints a picture that it is like a syndicate movement where you can all be enemies, but then you'll all collude back together over two people in one case. Now, if anyone thinks that looks good, then good luck to you. Like I say, I'm just gonna take a step out and just watch from the sidelines. Again, I already know the conclusion to that, but you've got to let people do what they want to do. Do you know what I mean? I tried offering good advice. It didn't seem to be received well. A lot of high tensions, and a lot of people seem to be losing the temper over it. And believe me, I get it. I do get it. I've not condoned anybody doxing anybody. Not being funny, but the last video I did was literally pointing out that I don't condone anybody doxing, and then the next day or two is like people running about doing the most mad shit. Now, what I do when people show me that they're willing to go to low levels is just step away. I'm not going to associate myself with people that do low life shit. Now, seeing Jupiter's live today just shows me the musical chairs is well overdue, innit? It's well overdue. Maybe people have got itchy feet at this moment in time and they all want to swap seats or something. Now, I personally couldn't give two fucks. I could not care less. You've got to remember, I only came to these communities to warn people of the syndicate of shit cunts that are trying to infiltrate your groups now, will try and groom you into certain situations, X, Y and Z. And that's what they was doing. The first conversation that I had on Easy's was because AJ was on there trying to convince everyone that the rapist is somehow the victim, and well, the poor child that got raped is somehow the monster and the temptress. So regardless, I've proved my point, exactly what I said, the warning that I gave out when I entered these. I mean, luckily they're all small little tiny channels, you know what I mean. Before, he was talking like a different story altogether in previous communities. People like Danny Jones are on like the third community. They've been exposed by their own people. Flow Destroyer, who knows Danny more than anybody else, you know what I mean, literally kicked his ass, exposed him on the way out. And I'm perfectly civil with Flow Destroyer. We may not align politically, but I think we reached a lot of middle ground. I may have to put some of these old videos out. You've seen Jupiter change his tune or whatever a couple of times and try the remixing thing. I don't know why she does it. All these things are already recorded. It's so easy to just put them back out. Yeah, if you remember, Jupiter was all one team. Danny Jones and whatever, then was the head of their team. It's like, no, they tried infiltrating us. We looked into them before I even spoke to Danny Jones. We looked into him. We found all these people. My report back was nothing but lefties, whatever panel they go on, and yeah, totally the exact opposite of what we're about. There was already shitting on the Dragons, CMW, blah blah blah, whatever. There was already shitting on all that before we even spoke to him. That's where I come across Kaylee's voice the first time, sat happily on a panel with Danny Jones and Flow Destroyer and all these other fucking lefties. Now, when I heard Kaylee's voice again, I think it was maybe a year later, I thought I recognised that voice. She's now rang the King's Flag stuff, which was being platformed and protected on Wake Up UK. Now Jupiter don't want to talk about that bit, does she? No. That was funny today when she tried remixing because Easy is now exposed Bleeding Heart as being very wrapped up in the hope not hate shit. There is a post on my community wall, there is a post on Easy's community wall. Like we said, do you know what I mean? When myself, Jupiter and Danny Roscoe was having a discussion about why it would be a good idea to warn people like Danny Roscoe and anybody else from there on forward, the AYs of the world and all these other people which have been walked into some bullshit they know nothing about. It's best to be warned, forewarned, forearmed. So if you know that someone's far left, mixed up with Antifa, stand up to racism, quite happy running back and forth, conspiring with people like Hope Not Hate, Prevent and all these other shit cunts, best to know that, innit? Now that didn't bother Jupiter when she was enrolling Bleeding Heart and Biso to attack people, to go to the lengths that other people won't do. And again, can re-air all these things. And Danny Roscoe, agreed with it. He went, well, yeah, you know, because they're doxing me, then it's fair for us to dox them. Now, like I said to Danny, once you do that, you lower yourself to their level, and all of a sudden, you are part of the shit cunts. Whether you like it or you don't, whether you see it being the right reason because they've doxed you or not, you've now entered that cesspit. And once you've done that, realistically, there is no way of reversing that. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just a bit of a mad one. Now, I don't know what the person expected me to review, to be fair. It's what you'd expect. It's what you'd expect. Rent-free space in Herpeter's Head. My name said about me, fuck knows how many million times. Remixing, outright lying, despite the evidence, like what was said before, during and after. Everything contradicts her. Every single thing contradicts her. And at that point, it's just laughable, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Now, that's all I'll say on the matter, realistically. It stinks to somebody that is actually impartial, like myself. It stinks when people won't dare to question the other side of things. It's like, well, everyone's moaning at Kaylee and Jake for putting up child abuse vids, which I agree shouldn't be happening. I've said that to Kaylee and Jake. I've also said it to Danny Jones because he does it, but apparently when he does it, it's different. Nobody wants to question the unbelievable lie that Danny Jones, I noticed Jupiter swooped past that bit quite quickly. Danny Jones had told the internet that Ricky Damon gave him permission to be what he describes as a paedophile and a nonce, because anyone that puts them videos out is a paedophile and a nonce. Even having discussions around of it, you know what I mean? Anyone discussed that along the way on all the panels it has been discussed on? Apparently, according to Danny Jones, that makes you, and Waver, to be fair, that makes you all nonces and paedophiles. But nobody wants to dare question that side of things, but we must focus all of our attention on Kaylee and Jake. Now, I believe if you've got two parties or more doing the same thing, then you use the same stick on them all. Am I wrong? For me, that would be the common sense approach. You wouldn't segregate and say, oh, well, this one can use child abuse vids, but this one can't. And this one's being detrimental to the children's fucking recovery, but this one's not. Nah, none of that. The moment you do that, you show me you're a disingenuous cunt. And again, I'm not in a position where I need to be around disingenuous cunts. Now, maybe some people did come on here to, I don't know, make friends and this, that and the other. Maybe people did. I didn't do that. I came here to give people a warning. And now and again I will ask myself, like, why am I actually still here? There's not enough people around this situation for it to even matter, to be fair. You could add all these little communities up together and it would still amount to nothing, realistically. Even Herpeter scraping every bottom of every barrel around can't accumulate even a handful of people that are worth. Do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's pretty pointless. Now, yeah, even that, do you know what I mean? It's like, for all the people out here ringing the alarm and putting out a message, this, that and the other, not a one of them, not a fucking one of them has got enough about them to actually go, right, okay, let's actually look into the lawful solutions. Are these things viable options for the masses to get behind or whatever? They're just quite happy, back and forth. who we're slagging off today. Fucking blah, fucking blah. And the personals just keep getting more silly to the point where look how desperate people are to get each other locked up. You're an embarrassment to everybody else at this point in time. It's fucking embarrassing. Now, I've never took my eye off the ball. The free lawful solutions have always been my my way of trying to guide people to the right way of dealing with things. It's one of them. Yeah, let's take it to there. So there's a film that everyone's talking about at the moment. I watched it last night. Citizen Vigilante, it's called. Now, apparently it's a banned film. But unlike other banned films, it's pretty much everywhere across loads of platforms, even on YouTube, for people to watch. Now, I'd invite everybody to watch that film. See if you can spot the narrative in that film. For those that are a bit for those that miss the stick when it's thrown or whatever, have a look at the, what would you call it, the fucking scene in the, I don't know what you call it, a brass gaff, a fucking sex parlour, fucking whatever you want to call it, I don't know. Have a look at the scene there and have a look at the guy, the main character, as to his tattoos and whatnot. A lot of subliminal messages going on around that, which I think have gone over the head of a few, to be fair, I don't know. Now, it's very similar to a film that I watched years ago, Lawful Abiding Citizen, I think it's called. Very similar film. Now, that one was more based at the government, the actual government and whatnot. And again, the angle was at getting justice for people, for victims, survivors, etc. Now, this film that everyone's watching now is very similar, to be fair. Very similar, but it's more up to date with the migrant situation and the lack of people getting any justice after an attack and this, that and the other. And he goes around asking the victims and survivors, would you like justice? And then he goes out dishing out that justice. Now, I think that's gonna spark up a lot of fucking a lot of thought from men all over Europe, to be honest. And I think it will definitely push people towards taking matters into their own hands. Yeah, but apparently it's banned and blocked and no one can see it. But like I say, it's all over the fucking internet. So I think there's a very clear narrative there. Now, if you get enough people that are going to go down that road, and to be honest, I think they will, when you do that, you're actually playing into the government's hands totally. And they've already got a plan for when these things happen. They've got lots of stuff they want to roll out. I think the COVID thing was just a little test to see who complies with what, and where does and where doesn't, and this, that and the other. And still, we're at this point in time where all these thoughts are flying around in people's heads all over the gaff. And still, there still don't seem to be any unified efforts to look at, instead of going down this road, which is going to be very messy, and a lot of people are ill-equipped and not able to be able to even carry out what their thoughts and feelings might take them towards or whatever. They're still going to have them thoughts regardless. Now, it's one of them, innit? I would have thought, just like with a little common sense, it would have been a much better idea to absolutely explore and exhaust all lawful, legal ways of bringing your government, which over many conversations with many people in many fucking communities, that does seem to be the middle ground. We all agree that the government is acting treasonous against the people and so on, but yet we seem to want to move past that and just keep cleaning up the problems which they've brought us. Now, would it not be more sensible to reverse a little from where we are heading and look at the people which are actually bringing us these problems? We've shown you we are able to hold these cunts to account. We've just suffered K for all that time. He's now fucked off out the back door, laughing his arse off that we couldn't get our shit together enough to fucking prosecute him. You've got Khan figuring his next fucking chess moves out. You've got Andy Burnham, who's turned a blind eye to murdered children at Manchester Arena. I'm quite happy to have Disbury Moss still open. Now, it's one of them, innit? We're just waiting for more terror plots to unfold, people to get more angry, and people to ultimately start taking measures themselves, taking law into their own hands and distributing what they seem to be justice. Now, like I say, if that's what people are going to do, that's what people are going to do. I wouldn't advocate for that. I wouldn't condone that. I would seriously give it more consideration and thought as to what we can do lawfully first. Now, the people that wish to avoid that, even Herpert brought up some shit about, oh, well, you know, if I'd have knew this, that and the other, and if Kayleigh wouldn't have spoiled it with CMW, blah, blah, blah. What a load of shit. After all that was happening at the time, I made it clear to Herpert or to Wendy and all that, whatever. Not only is Kayleigh not involved with CMW, nor am I. We both just support what they're about. Now, anybody can support anything. There isn't a blemish on CMW, not one blemish. They are the true patriots. They do things for the correct reasons, and they do it for free. They don't grift, they don't take the piss out of people. They've helped many people, patriots, veterans, and they have done for many, many years. Now, I've said this from day one. Isn't it weird that the so-called high-profile patriots never seem to like give them, you know, shine some light on what they're doing? They'll send them to all other shit which accomplishes absolutely fuck all, and they just grift the fuck out of it, but they'll never send anybody to a free, lawful solution. The sensible people in the room will be looking at that and thinking, well, it is true. Why haven't they done that? It's all good and well ringing the alarm and waking people up to things, but would it not be better to wake people up with a free, lawful solution rather than the bloodbath that we're all entering into, whether you want to or you don't? There's people being attacked up and down the country. Now people, bit by bit, you can see it, every little group that's put together, every action that's happening and whatever around these things, highlighting these things, it's all movements towards people taking matters into their own hands. I think they've had an imam's house set on fire early hours of the morning. You've had the local mosque to that, which I'm gathering he runs or whatever, also attacked. You're getting people, these fucking freaks that have come over on the boat, hanging around parks where children are and whatever, and getting fucking banged out left, right and centre. I've seen shitloads of videos. People have had enough, and people will take matters into their own hands. It's already happening. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse. Now, like I say, if you can't explore free lawful solutions now, which Tom Prophet did say, he said, I think people are too angry now. We've kind of passed that moment in time. We may well have to circle back round to it after the bloodbaths and after the mass casualties and this, that and the other, which any civil war will bring. We may have to circle back to that when people want to restore law and order, but the right way. And to be honest, I think he may well be right. Don't get me wrong, away from YouTube, mainly on TikTok and other X and this, that and the other platforms, CMW have got shitloads of people behind them all over the fucking country, all over the world, all over the gaff. So there is a hell of a lot more of an awakening around those particular platforms. Like I said, YouTube is dead. It's full of fucking tumbleweeds and fucking just same shit, drama, bullshit, doxings, fucking whatever, to scrape the same 100 people from one channel to another. They're literally all fighting over the same 100 people. It's proper embarrassing. So, for me personally, I think, like Ghost said, I think I've completed YouTube. I think I have. I came here with a warning. People wanted to ignore that warning. They got implicated into loads of things they didn't have to. People willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly, have been implicated into all sorts of fucked up little creepy teams and shit, running about, passing information about other people's families and all this shit. And they've done it for fucking years. But now it seems everyone wants to play innocent. Well, there's a problem with that. The internet don't forget any of these things. And for anyone that could be asked going back through all these things, it's very easy to just go, right, okay, yeah, these people are blatantly chatting shit, blatantly lying, blatantly playing musical chairs. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah, it's just mad. It is just mad. Me personally, I don't see the point. I really don't. Some people may need this little outlet and whatever. I don't. I just don't. I'm very aware that there's plenty going on in real life in the background of all these things, and people are pulling together on the relevant things. People are actually figuring out their next moves and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? How best to deal with a situation. Now, it seems the people on YouTube would just much rather just keep doing the same dumb shit over and over and over again and expecting a different result. I'm not going to take part in that. I'm just not. Now, with this case that Kaylee and Jake have been pushing for so long, it's like they obviously believe in that to the point where that's their standpoint. They ain't going to change just because what you've all grouped back up together. That's just fucking madness. All you do is literally showing them, yeah, we are a syndicate, look. It's mad. It is proper mad. And like I said, with that case, I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of it if it turns out to be true. Because I'm not being funny, but there's a lot more shit come out in the last 2 years even, and whatever, which literally highlight, okay, yeah, you know, all these things surrounding that one case and whatever kind of indicate that what Kaylee and Jake are saying could well be true. Now, I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of that. I just wouldn't. You can not like Kaylee, you can not like Jake. I get it. Yeah, a lot of stuff is being said and done. But where have they learnt this behaviour from? Because nobody was moaning when it was happening the other way round. It seems to be people moaning now it's happening to them. Now, when I was first pointing out how dangerous doxing is, this, that and the other, my family hadn't been doxed at that point in time. I had a standpoint and I've stood on that same square from then till now. It's not changed, it's not wavered, and it's not gonna. Even down to minimal shit, oh, all the windows are going in, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. But like I've said, you know, I could chuck a brick through someone's window now. Do I know there's not a baby on a baby seat or something on the other side of that? Them little rocker chair things or something, and you're going to shower a baby in glass or something. Could even just be someone's pet, someone's dog. Do you know what I mean? Could be anything. But people are rah, 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 this, that and the other. It's like, you do what you're going to do. Do you know what I mean? Don't let me stop you. I won't even pretend to even wish to do that. If that's what you want to do, then you go and do that. Now, like I say, that's all I could have done realistically to possibly help the situation, to be the middleman and try and facilitate a open, honest discussion where people can try and find resolve or just to neutralise the situation and both parties go their separate ways. But apparently no one wants to do that either. So yeah, I'm just gonna, if anything, I'm gonna just sit on the sidelines and just watch these things unfold. I'm not gonna get involved. I'm not gonna pick a side. You know what I mean? How can anyone pick a side realistically when both parties, or more than two parties at the same time, are all doing vile shit? I'm not gonna pick. I'm not, what do I do? Pick the lesser evil. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. For me, anyone that partakes in any of those measures, yeah, I think you're out of order, regardless. And I don't care where it, you know, who that is, which way it goes, blah, blah. I couldn't care less. Anyone that does that shit, yeah, you're acting out of order, regardless. And people like that, it's as simple as that for me. I just don't wish to have those people around me. Simple as that. Like I told Danny Roscoe, you know what I mean? This is where we part ways. You're okay with Jupiter enrolling far left trolls mixed in with all this shit, all this fucking hope not hate, fucking prevent, fucking Antifa, stand up to racism, even the IRA and all this shit. It's like, and you're okay with all that, yeah? But you want to call yourself a patriot as well, yeah? Good luck with that one. Good luck with that one. See, this is the thing with these Johnny come latelys. They're not like used to the bigger picture, the long game. They're just focused on, oh, I've got to win this war today. Yeah, you might win one battle, but you're not going to win the war by doing these dirty, vile little tactics or whatever. What you are going to do is repulse people and repel people away from whatever it is you're about and whatever it is you're connected to. No different than when I had a conversation with Ghost saying, well, you know, if you wanted to destroy Team Tommy's fucking movement from within, what would you do? You'd inject cancerous scumbags like Jupiter and Wenda to the situation. Babs, do you know what I mean? But apparently now, no, let's all huddle back together. Yeah, let's not. Right, look after each other. Enjoy whatever comes of this fucking pantomime. And just remember what I said. Do you know what I mean? Meanwhile, the patriots, the real patriots, we'll be putting all the hard work in place and continue to build bridges where it's worth building. I've said from day one, I'm not interested in little pockets of people. I'm interested in the masses, and the masses want to see something clean, decent, that they can actually be proud of, not be ashamed of. These idiots on YouTube just can't seem to work that out, or their intentions are bent and out of shape. Simple as that. Alright, enjoy, look after each other, and stay safe and stay vigilant.